New week, new edition of Coach's Corner. It's quarterfinal week here in the state of West Virginia, and that means teams are still competing to be one of the final 8 teams across all classes to compete in Charleston at Laidley Field on December 5th and 6th. But let's take our steps back and stick with quarterfinal week, as we are pleased to be joined by the head football coach of the George Washington Patriots and the number 5 seed in the Class Quad A tournament, head coach Steve Edwards Jr. Coach, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Anytime I can get to talk about these guys, I enjoy it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, we'll talk about the group in a second, but just walk me back through last week. You beat the number 12 seed in Oak Hill up here at Steve Edwards Senior Field, I should say. I think it was like the 100th game here. You guys have had a ton of success in the playoffs up here. When you walk away from that game and you start watching film, what worked well for you guys to get a win in round one?
Well, it's one of those things where things just snowballed on. I mean, it came together, and we were on the good side of the snowball, and it just we gained momentum from the get-go. And when you can do things like that, especially in big games like that, it bodes well for you. Usually, you come out on top. So we were real happy about that. We wanted to come out strong. We wanted to come out fast. And we were able to do that, and we were able to put the game away pretty early.
How have your kids kind of stayed even-keeled from where you guys ended the regular season to now going into the quarterfinal round? How have they kind of stayed even-keeled and just continued to just maintain this level of focus?
Well, they're an even-keeled kind of guys. I mean, they really are. They're not a big boisterous bunch. They're not loud. They're not real showboaty. Like I've said before, I got a lot of hunting dogs in here, not a lot of show dogs. And these guys, they like to play, and they like each other. It's probably as close as that bunch I've had in a good long time. And when you get that kind of stuff, and you get a clean locker room and guys that like each other, and they like the coaches. I mean, everybody's getting along, and it's just been good. Even the 2 bad weekends we had. I mean, it was the same. Everybody's stuck together, sticking together, and playing for each other. And that's why this is such a great team sport.
You've mentioned the maturity to me before, and I think you even mentioned it during the preseason, but just the maturity of this team, how has that kind of grown along, and how has everybody started to come together as a team and really started to continue to focus on what you guys are saying as coaches?
Well, it's been really cool to watch a few guys really take the leadership role, guys that have never had to be leaders before. We've had some really good leaders in this, and these guys that are there 4 years, especially the seniors in their 4 years here, had good guys to follow and good leadership. And they're just a little bit different than most of them, and it's been a joy to watch them take charge in their own way and do their own thing and handle the team in their own way, and it's really cool to watch.
Your senior group, let's talk about them for a little bit, because I know a lot of them have assembled that senior role, as you said to us off the record, but just talk to me about this senior group and what this group has meant to this program. You guys graduated a fantastic senior class a year ago, but just with this class now, as they're trying to write their own story with this program, what have you liked about the senior group?
Oh, we lost a lot of productivity. I mean, we really did. And coming into the season, I knew that we were going to have to search for guys to replace guys. I don't think you really replace them. Guys to do their own contributions and contribute in their own ways to make us successful. And we've been able to do that. It's we're doing it in different ways, and especially we've been known to throw the ball quite a bit, run the ball quite a bit, and the guys that I thought would be the forefront was the front up front, and I thought that we had the most experience up there, and if we could get those guys to live up to my expectations or our expectations, that we would have a chance, both offensively and defensively. But when you looked at our lineup before the season started, I know defensively, I mean, we had 6-7 guys. When we opened up against Spring Valley, that's their first Friday night they've ever been in. I mean, they've never been put under the lights like that. And they played backup roles. They played special team roles. It's a cool group. It's a group. I talk about GW and GW guys and the GW way, and these guys are GW guys. I mean, these guys. I've watched my sons in this class, and I've watched these kids play from midget football on up, and they've all stuck together. 14 seniors here, man, and it's been a joy. It's been a real joy. Not to say that the other teams weren't fun to coach, but it's a really cool bunch, and what's really good, it keeps me going, is every year's different, and this has been a really enjoyable different year.
You guys started the season 6-0. You guys had those 2-game setback one against Jefferson, the other one coming against Huntington. We'll talk about Jefferson here in a second. But then you guys ended the season, the regular season, I should say, winning your last 2. So talk about the importance, or not really importance, but just how big those 2 losses were at that point in the season to rally back and close the regular season strong.
Well, it's just like I look at it like when you're a little kid and someone keeps saying, don't do that, but doesn't really set effect till you get your hand smacked. And we got our hands smacked, and that's basically you never like to lose, you never like to have that kind of thing happen. But sometimes if you handle it the correct way, and to their credit, they did handle it the correct way. They have responded positively of like not listening to the noise of how good you were. They were riding pretty. I mean, people were smacking them on the back, and riding 6-0, and we won a really big game against a really good Barnesville team, and we had beat Spring Valleys and the Cabell Midlands. We don't usually do that in the same years, and they were riding pretty high, and people around here were telling them how good they were, and I mean it's normal. It's normal to get a little sassy. But we got our hands smacked, and they responded in the correct way. And those are 2 good football teams we lost to. I mean, they're not any chumps. So, but we played well. I mean, we played good football. We just didn't play mistake-free football like we had been playing. So, it happened. But we were able to recover, and we're trying to start another streak if we can.
Kind of talking about one of those teams that you did lose to. You guys lost to Jefferson up here by 1 point. When you look back at that game, and now you prepare for them this week in the quarterfinal round, how do you go about preparing your guys for that do you guys talk about that game much? Do you kind of use that a lot as points of emphasis? I mean, I know obviously you're going to scout them, you guys already played them, but just what are you looking for in film whenever you do play a team another time in the playoffs?
Well, what we've done is really when we watch the game, we watch what we were able to do well, what they did well, and then we're going to try to figure out how to stop what they did well. And it's the first time we'd ever played them. We'd never coached against them, and I think it's the same for them. So it was an even kill. And playing at home didn't seem to bother them a bit. And now when I watch them on film, they're not any less scarier than they were when we played them the first time. So they've got a lot of great athletes. And we're just taking the approach of like, hey man, watch what you did. Let's see if we can't correct it, clean some things up, and then try it again, see what we can do.
So you guys play Friday night, 7 p.m. A lot of people thought you probably would have played on Saturday, but kind of walk us through the dynamic of that. What led you to picking Friday at 7 o'clock? Because now you have to kind of take a day to travel up there and everything else, so the schedule gets a little interesting, but just walk us through that whole thing.
Well, I've gone to the Panhandle several times in my days here at GW, and I've tried it every which way. And I played on Black Friday. I played on Thursdays. Whenever you could play, in the times I've played them. I've been able to do it, and I'm trying to look for a combination that's going to work. I kind of went back to when my first time we went to the playoffs when I'm here at GW in 1999. We went to play Musselman. We went up on a Thursday. We practiced. We stayed Thursday night. We got up Friday. We tried to do it as close to a college setup as we could do it. Played on Friday night, stayed Friday night, come back Saturday. I've gone up in the same day, come back in the same day. Yeah, that's what I say. So, and I've gone up in in the cheese wagon, and I've gone up in the daggone charter buses. So I've done it. Any way you can do it, we've done it, and we're just going to try a little bit different approach. And that's a little, it's a little pricey, but it's hopefully we do, it works for us, and hopefully it helps us a little bit. But I think it will. I mean, there's no easy way to get there, and there's no easy way to do it, and you're still traveling with young folk. And but I think I got a group that can do it. There's not a lot of groups I'd do it with, and I think this is one that I think they can handle it.
Whenever you guys get out on the practice field, What are you seeing from your guys, just in regards to just being focused and being hungry for this? Are you seeing a little bit more sense of urgency with this since it is the playoffs, or are you just still kind of seeing the same thing that you saw week 1 against Spring Valley?
No, we're way further along. We're getting better. What I see is that I think I know last week we were fresh. We seem like we're fresh. We got a little more bounce in our step. We're smacking the pad a little bit more, and we're crisper. And if we can stay crisp and we can stay, it's not like it's getting old to them. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just, and that's the thing you worry about. I mean, this bunch, this is the seniors. The seniors played in the second round before when they were freshmen, but they weren't playing much. So this is a long time. I mean, this is a long season, and you got some freshmen that I'm playing and starting now that it's the longest they've ever played football. I mean, there's no other way around it. So, but they're not bored with it. They're not. They take to the practice field. They know what they got to do, and they're still having fun. They're having fun all the way around. So, and winning has a lot to do with that, but. They know, like we've talked about forever, and Friday at 10 o'clock, it's final, baby. And whatever you did, I hope you can live with it.
I know whenever you and I have talked before about this Jefferson team, you see a lot of speed with this. I know you mentioned that post-game as well, but just with this team and having played them already, do you kind of get a little bit of a better feel for how to contain that speed, or is it still just one of those things where you don't know until you actually step out onto that field?
I don't know. We'll come up with some ways that we think we can do it. It's still whether they execute or not, and it's all about the kids' execution. If they can play it, we'll play it, and we'll be there where we're supposed to be, and hopefully we can slow it down a little bit. But they're going to get theirs. I mean, they're going to get open. They're going to get down the field. If they do get out in the open, I don't think anybody can catch them. What we'll have to do is make sure that we don't let that bother us and carry on until we just get the ball back and take it down and answer. So if we can play good, sound football, we can take care of it. We turned the ball over a heck of a lot the last time, too much, and we didn't win the special teams game. Those are two things we're going to have to clean up. I think we weren't very good in the penalty mark either. So we didn't play mistake-free. We're going to have to play a little bit more mistake-free. Plus, we're going up in their territory, up in their neck of the woods, and everybody plays a lot better at home, and they'll be more comfortable. But yeah, I don't know whether you stop the speed. I just try to keep it in front of us best we can, trying to limit the explosive plays. I mean, the big play, and we'll have to have a couple ourselves.
Talk about this defense a little bit. Obviously, again, looking back on those 2 losses, you guys have since rallied defensively and had a really good 3-game stretch here leading into this week's matchup. What's the biggest difference you've seen in this defense from those 2 setbacks to where we are now in the quarterfinals?
Guys are getting more comfortable. We've been able to find some pieces and move guys around a little bit. But the main thing is that they're executing the game plan. They're doing what they're supposed to do, not trying to do too much, not getting to the point to where they think they can do this and get away with it. Just play within the game plan, man. Just do the play that's called, execute the way you've been taught, and we've had a pretty good chance. And that's really what they've been doing. And when they watch themselves on film, those 2 losses, they could see it. It's hard now when they come off the field and on that Friday, and you're telling them you're not going where you're supposed to be, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, I am." And when you watch a film, they go, "No, I'm not." So the film never does lie, and it's quite helpful. But it's also helpful when they can see it and they're like, "Yeah, you're right," and that kind of deal. But then sometimes it works the opposite. Sometimes they've done something, and then we pick it up and we say, "Hey, look, I know we wanted to do this. Now we're going to try to help you. This looks a little more comfortable for you." So we try to. It's a give and take sometimes, but pretty much they have to be the takers most of the time.
I know whenever you and I, going back to the preseason, I know you and I talked in the preseason about this offensive line group. I know we'll talk about one of them specifically here in a second, but just that group collectively, that's an experienced group. And how have they kind of been the backbone for what this offense has been able to succeed this year?
Well, you can't do anything. I mean, you can't do anything if you guys up front aren't blocking. If you can't open holes, I mean, I've said that forever, and I'm not the first one to ever come up with it. I mean, you're only as good as you are up front, and whether you want to pass the ball, you keep your quarterback off the ground, and if you want to run the ball, make some holes for the kid to get through. And I think our line with the maturity level, and they've just continued to get better and better, and we've been really healthy up there. Haven't had to make any changes. I mean, from Braden Coulter at the one tackle to James Payne at the other tackle, those guys are getting better and better all the time. Parker Chapman at the guard spot, the 2-year starter. He's back again, but he's playing well. The Crayson kid's his first time starting, senior at the right guard. He's doing a hell of a job. And then you got Braden at the center. I mean, he's two-year starter. He's really the big piece. I mean, he's got the ball in his hand all the time. And when I first started out, I was a nervous wreck about it, but he's gotten some good coaching from these guys, and they've really helped him along. And they're just a good group, man. I mean, and they just keep doing what they need to do. And then with that in, you got a kid to hand to a very gifted athlete in Jaden Black, and that kid is a natural. He's tough. He's getting better. His confidence level's getting better. I mean, early in the season, you can see from early in the season to now where he has lived through the experience of what this game's all about. And you know, he's 15 years old playing against 19-year-olds. I mean, he's been smacked around a little bit, and but he's been able to figure it out. He's a tough kid. He's not afraid. And right now he's pretty healthy, and we're very thankful that when he gets the rock, and those guys like blocking for him. They haven't blocked for a 1,000-yard rusher in years. So we're very fortunate to have him and those guys up front. They all complement each other.
Talking about James, and just from my perspective, seeing a lot of different teams in the state have some really, really sound offensive linemen. But with James, I know I've seen some other sites that have had him as one of the better offensive linemen here in the state of West Virginia. What separates James from maybe offensive linemen that you've had here or offensive linemen that are currently in the state of West Virginia?
Well, James' athleticism. James reminds me a lot of Lath with his athleticism, and Lath's playing at Virginia Tech right now as a starting left guard. The difference between them is the size. James is probably not going to be a tackle in his days. He's probably an inside guy, like a center or guard. He's very athletic, very good wrestler. I look for him to be a state champ this year at the heavyweight spot. He placed last year as a junior. He's just an all-around. He's a nice kid, but he's a mean kid, and that's what you got to have. He plays with a little burst of meanness, and he enjoys his job, and he enjoys doing what he does. He's just really smart, very coachable. That's the difference with people, kids that they got to be coachable, and they accept the constructive criticism, and like I said earlier, it's a give and take. Sometimes it's asking, how do you feel when you're doing this? And sometimes you look and you go, man, you can't really do that, but you're doing this. We're getting the same result, so you do this. That's really cool about our offensive line. All of them are different skill level, and we've been able to differentiate. It's just not one-on-one technique, just one technique. Some guys can do things better than others, and you got to find a knack what they can do, and we've been able to do that. Coach Davis has done a great job with those guys, and Mike Kearns has done a great job with them, of figuring out what they can and can't do, and which is putting it all into one group unit and making it all work for us.
I know you mentioned Jaden Black, and what an unbelievable season that he's had. I had you guys his first game up here against Spring Valley. He ran all over the place. Even last week, I think he had 5 or 6 touchdowns all in the first half. Yeah, who's counting, really? Yeah. But just his season, I know you kind of went a little bit with him there a couple minutes ago, but just seeing a freshman like that excel at the level that he's been able to play at as a young guy, how optimistic are you and how encouraged are you for his future here at George Washington?
Well, you're very encouraged, and I'm encouraged for him. But one thing he's going to have to understand is that he came on the scene, not really many people knew really about him. They'd heard about him and hadn't played against him. What he's going to have to, he'll have to work even harder and harder. And those are things that I think that he's willing to accept and willing to take on the challenge. He has some very lofty goals. And He's chasing some of the goals that we had a great one that played here a few years back.
He was okay.
And, yeah, he was pretty good. And he went through the same thing.
Yeah.
And so you nothing just because you did it this year. Next year they're going to be prepared for you.
Oh yeah.
So you're going to have to do something. You got to figure out a way to. But I think he's up for that challenge. I think he's excited about it. I know we're excited about it. And he's just been a joy. He's easy to coach. He's easy to talk to. Kids like him. I mean, he's a very likable guy. And the whole group has been able to feel like that. I mean, it's just we're just thankful. I'm thankful that he's here and he's had the year that he's had. And just if we keep him healthy, we'd be good.
One final question for you
Sure.
before we let you go. You've been around the game of football for a long time, and I've asked some similar questions to other coaches we've had on this program, but just to you, in your opinion, what's the biggest difference in high school athletics that you've seen from maybe your first season to where we are now? You could say the transfer portal, you could say this NIL market that's now been adopted, but just outside of that, what are some things that have really caught your eye in the evolution of high school athletics here in West Virginia?
Jeez.
Probably a loaded question.
Well, those are some things that are hitting us now.
Right.
The transfer that has been going on for a few years, but really just the same old thing is that football's you're going back to some older type football. I mean, you're seeing more teams run the single wing. You're seeing more wing T coming back. The running game's coming back. A fullback is evolving back into the game plans. The real tight end is coming back in the ball game. Those are type of things I think we're changing. The whole game is changing to at all levels, and that's exciting to me because I like that kind of football. I mean, I really.
Yeah.
I mean, I like slinging it around and I like doing, but when you get down and you get into the nitty gritty, I mean, that's what this game's all about. You got guys that want to stick their face in there and get a little dirty, but I think that's a big change that's coming back. I mean, when I first started, that's where it was, and we went all to the spread, and everybody was working on spread. You had smaller guys in the secondary. You had defensive backs that were linebackers, and now you're getting back to the linebackers, your defensive ends. You're seeing more people run a 50, more odd fronts than before. So it all seems to circle back around. So it's like anything else.
Well, Coach, good luck to you guys on Friday night as you guys travel to the Eastern Panhandle to take on Jefferson, and look forward to seeing you guys hopefully in the next round.
Well, I hope so too, and I really appreciate it, and thanks for having me. Anytime I can get a chance to talk about the team, I really enjoy it.
Absolutely. Be sure to check out our coverage of the state high school football playoffs by going to our website, wvgazettemail.com. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Gaz Mail Sports. It's GAZ Mail Sports. And be sure to follow us on Facebook at HD Media Sports.